Well, I have started. Is the connection working this time? Tell me. If it is still not working, then happy birthday to the connection. If you are joining for the first time and if you can join properly, that is, you get a stable connection, then you can subscribe to the channel also. I'll wait and see if you are able to join and if anybody can comment. Because right now I'm seeing a big anda at where they show how many people have joined. Is the connection working? Is it not working? No idea. And I don't have the. Let me just wait for a bit. Anyways, let me do my one announcement. I am discussing a very important issue on Tuesday, 11 a.m. Tuesday, 11 a.m. Even if it is freezing, I hope you can hear. Tuesday, 11 a.m. I am doing a session with Dr. Subramanian Swamy. One sec. With Dr. Subramanian Swamy on India's national security 360-degree. We will try to cover Pakistan, China, and United States. So it will be a comprehensive discussion on India's national security. Okay, now I can see people have started joining. So that means this is working. Good. So now let me speak on 2, 3 issues which I thought I would speak on. 4 issues I've decided, subject to the mercy of the gods of internet. भगवान जो भी इंटरनेट के ऊपर अपनी कृपा करते हैं वो कृपा बनाए रखें. तो आई विल टॉक अबाउट 4 टॉपिक्स. वेस्ट बंगाल, उत्तर प्रदेश, योगी आदित्यनाथ, Twitter because it is important, and fourthly Mehul Choksey, for which I was on Times Now and I refused in the evening because I didn't want to do it today. But yeah, these 4 topics I will cover. Okay. So first topic, and you can ask your questions. Will Government of India give further nice dose to Twitter and Jack Dorsey? Okay, let me start from Twitter. I had wanted to start with West Bengal, but I will start with Twitter. Okay. So no, I will start with West Bengal. So West Bengal, briefly, 2 major things. TMC leader bail. Frankly, not very surprising because they were arrested after 7 years. As I said, the first date happened. Unless CBI had a very strong case, legally, they should have been very circumspect in arresting. The bigger controversy which became, and I kept on telling you, the main point why High Court gave the stay and why a 5-judge bench was set up, then it went to Supreme Court, was this: the dharna and protest by a chief minister and the crowd outside. Does that involve or does that amount to interference with administration of justice? And if it does it amount to such a high degree of interference with administrative justice that the order itself be considered as void? That's a very extreme step. So clearly, that issue has been kept open. The 5-judge bench will sit on that issue, will decide that issue. What is a democratic way of protesting? What can a CM do? Does a CM or a political or a minister lose his right to protest? And all those dimensions they will discuss and decide, which will be of academic importance to all lawyers, unless the court takes a very difficult view, and then there could be some legal challenges also for the people involved. But bail has been given, and that is a fact. Second, the bigger issue. I will try to answer this a little bit by the law and a little bit by politics. What happened with Mamata Banerjee? Boycott of the Prime Minister's meeting. The other version, which is her version, she says, I did not boycott it. I came, I waited, I gave the dossier. Both versions, but it is not important. What I think in this, BJP is doing wrong is this. She is the elected chief minister. You lost the election. You lost the election. You like it or not, you need to hear this again. After election has been lost, there was massive reports of violence. Cases have been filed in the Supreme Court, including by the victims. The legal recourse to that is the governor tweets. Ishkaran tweets, you understand. You tweet, we understand. We are common citizens. The governor is tweeting. Why is the official report not sent to the center? Why is Article 355 not used? I'm not even talking about 356. Why is it not used? That is the correct way of doing things if you want to do them. I do not know whether you want to do them, you don't want to do them. A. Secondly, I am not even getting into it whether you can manage to convince the court if you do it. But if you believe it's a case of violence, that is the thing to do. If you do not do it, rest, I will say, is then probably more of noise and very less of action. If you believe it. If you believe that there is no reason to do it, then the topic is anyways over. That is one point. Second point, I was very clear that every chief minister must respect the office of the prime minister. And every minister must respect the office of chief minister. Every MLA must respect the office of chief minister. So we have a constitutional system, right? That constitutional system, I do not think any prime minister should be kept waiting if he was kept waiting. No prime minister should be kept waiting. That is, I think, wrong on the part of any chief minister. But the bigger question are political. What is BJP doing? Please understand, Mamata Banerjee is definitely, she's proved in this election, the biggest leader of the state of West Bengal. But my sincere advice to a lot of people in BJP would be, please come to terms. Else what you do is, you keep making her status or stature bigger in the nation. And I'll tell you why. In the long run, if a fight between the bigger person and the smaller person, prime minister is a bigger post, and the smaller post is the chief minister. They're both huge constitutional posts, but if you have to compare, the person on the smaller post always gains. The person on the smaller post will always gain if a bigger and a smaller post are fighting. When Chief Minister Modi fought with what he used to say, the leadership in Delhi, he gained. It is not an exact combination at all because BJP had a cadre, had chief ministers in various states, had coalition governments in various states. So obviously it is not a comparison. It is nowhere near a comparison because it is not only who becomes the opposition leader, it is whether you have the cadres, you have the voters loyal to you in different states, and then some neutrals join them. So it's obviously you have a cadre like in Rajasthan, like in Madhya Pradesh, like in Chhattisgarh, like in now Assam, I would say, like in Uttar Pradesh, like in Bihar, in so many, Maharashtra, so many states. 2013, BJP had loyal voters. Sometimes they would win, sometimes they would lose, but they had loyal voters. And then some leader came and they were frustrated. People were frustrated with Congress. The neutrals joined it. BJP won big. BJP won big. Swamy ji ko lao, nahi to unsubscribe. My dear friend, if you want to unsubscribe, please unsubscribe. Dr. Swamy anyways would come. But this sort of language, you think you're subscribing or unsubscribing will not influence my decisions. I speak what I want to speak. I call whom I want to call. I don't call whom I don't want to call. So this language I don't appreciate. If you want to unsubscribe, please do. If you want to subscribe, please do. But anyways, Dr. Swamy is a person I respect immensely. And anyways, he is coming on Tuesday. I think you're probably meaning it as a joke, so it's okay. He is coming on Tuesday at 11 a.m. to speak on India's national security 360 degree. I will cover Pakistan, China, and India. I will cover Pakistan, India, and China, and the United States of America. So 360-degree view of India's national security with Dr. Swamy. All those who want to join, please subscribe. Tell your friends. 11 a.m. Tuesday, it's lockdown. I am stuck at home. I think most of you are stuck at home. So you can join in the morning. It will be nice to discuss it at a wide spectrum. Now coming back to it. Anytime the bigger and the smaller person fight, the smaller gains. Always. If a MLA fights with the chief minister and fights it well, all those who do not like the chief minister band behind that MLA or the opposition leader. That is why if you notice something about the prime minister, very rarely would he refer to any leader in a political campaign. Very rarely. How often did he used to refer to Kejriwal? Very rarely. Mamata Banerjee somehow seems to have gotten the BJP to react in a manner certain times where it will be counterproductive for BJP. Impact of, I said 360-degree with Dr. Swamy. I will create a link in the night, and all of you who want to put your questions, please put the questions there in comments or in the chat, whatever, which I can see. So you please put your questions there and I will create. So don't ask me the questions I should ask Dr. Swamy. I will create a link in the night for 11 a.m. Tuesday. You can ask him any question you want to. Please don't put it here because or I'll just shift the comments. I can't see the comments right now. Okay. Second part, which is equally important. While Mamata Banerjee may have no influence or cadres or loyal voters outside of West Bengal, in a very curious way, that is her strength also. And I'll tell you why is that her strength. Because we are doing a bit of political analysis here. A person like Mayawati ji was always a threat to other leaders at her peak. Today, they say her political strength is very diminished. But she was the chief minister of Uttar Pradesh multiple times, and the last time in 2007 with full majority. That's a big achievement. She got a lot of upper caste to a lot of basically all castes to vote for her. But she would never be acceptable to other leaders because people feared that her loyal vote bank exists in Rajasthan beyond Uttar Pradesh, exists in Madhya Pradesh, exists in Punjab, exists in Haryana, exists in Bihar. So if she became a top leader of the nation, communities which vote for her, people who vote for her are going to see her as the supreme leader for them, and she will be a pan-India influence. Right? That strength is also a weakness because your potential friends will not be very comfortable with that. When it comes to Mamata Banerjee, while she doesn't have cadres, while she doesn't have people, that is also her strength, that she is not going to make any leader of Bihar who will be a non-NDA leader, let's say Mr. Tejasvi Yadav. He doesn't have to be worried because you will not see TMC candidates winning MLA seats. Whereas BSP candidates, if Mayawati became even a bigger leader, could win in Bihar. They could win in Rajasthan. They win in Rajasthan. Even now they win in Rajasthan. Even last time they won in Rajasthan. I think they won one seat in Bihar, or they were very close to one seat in Bihar. So sometimes your weakness becomes your strength because chief minister doesn't have cadres, or loyal voters, and a leader in Bihar does not need to fear her. A leader in Rajasthan doesn't need to fear her. A leader in UP doesn't need to fear her. Then somebody who occupies mind space at a national level, and says, I have X model of governance in West Bengal, and on this channel, I believe majority of you will not like her model. But if she won 200 seats, do not dismiss electoral victories. They happen because of a reason. If CM Modi won 3 times, it happened for a reason. If CM Sheila Dikshit, and I still think she was the best CM of Delhi. She was the best CM of Delhi. She lost her fourth election because people had gotten fed up with Congress and corruption. And I think she suffered a lot because of people's frustration with the UPA, the central government. When the mood changes, the anger comes on everybody. The anger comes on everybody. So that is the only thing I will say. The more BJP keeps being involved with her in any tussle or any fight, at least at the national level, the leader of opposition should. That's his job. Mr. Adhikari should fight with her. That's his job. The state president should fight with her. That's their job. But that's my assessment. If the central leadership, either you take the legal recourses, which if you believe that Article 355, I've already explained. But politically, to keep having issues with her, you will only benefit her. That is my reason. Second point, ट्विटर. ये जो चिड़िया बहुत उड़ती है, इसके ऊपर बात करनी बहुत जरूरी है. आप सब कितने यूजर्स हो ट्विटर के? यहाँ पे आप जो सारे देख रहे हो, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैज, we can discuss that. I think I will discuss this tomorrow on 7 years of Modi Sarkar, the good, the bad, the ugly. I will discuss this tomorrow, the good, the bad, the ugly. One more thing, very important, just struck me. Tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the Hindi channel, I am discussing with a top doctor 3-4 topics. I was asking him about black fungus, and I said, what is this third wave? Will it affect kids and all that fear in people's mind? And he said, 2 more topics we will discuss. Hindi, YouTube. 2 more topics. One, he said, is something called MIS. He says that has really spread in children, in kids, and there are certain steps you need to do to prevent it or mitigate it. I had not even heard of MIS. Some of you may have heard of it. So that is happening as we speak right now. So he will talk on that. And fourth, he said, how even if you get infected by COVID, there are certain steps that you can take to reduce major serious illness as much as you can. He said, in 1 year, doctors have understood enough about it so that you can understand. So Hindi, 7 p.m., especially for people who are young, let's say below 30, definitely watch it. Definitely watch it. And as he's a doctor, I won't have much to say. On medical questions, I say I don't have much to say when you keep asking me. I like the fact that you think that you can ask me medical questions, shows you trust my words a bit. But I want to maintain that trust and only speak on issues on which I know a little bit and not speak on issues on which I do not know. So I'm having a doctor. Please join at 7 p.m. on Hindi and ask him any questions you have. ये तो डालना चाहिए. मेरी आंख इस पे पड़ी. I made an account on Twitter to follow you, sir. Thank you. Kranti. Well, Kranti लेके आइए आप. And thank you for this. And anyways, the question was, how many of you are on Twitter? I would just like to know. How many of you are on Twitter? Lakshadweep issue. Some other time it will be a separate topic, Animesh, if I do it. How many of you are aware of the Lakshadweep issue firstly? But if I do it, it will be some other time. I can't miss it and mix it up in so many topics. So most people with political inclination are usually on Twitter. Usually are. At some level, I think it is the most political platform. That is why, interestingly, you know the data, na? Twitter has only 1.75 crore users in India. In a country like ours, 1.73 is a very small number. Facebook has what? I think either WhatsApp or Facebook has 50 crores and the other has 44 crores. Other has 44 crores, one has 50 crores. So you can understand they are 25 times the size of Twitter. And their growth will also be way more. And Instagram is also very big. जो मुझे कुछ खास उसका समझ नहीं आता है. But Instagram is also very big. All I keep on getting is mails from people that these brand collaborators, please collaborate with us on post on Instagram, on Facebook. And I say, Bhaiya, I'm not a model. I'm not into a brand collaboration. If people follow me, that is because some of them like me and they like what I hear or speak. I am not capable of brand collaborating with you to sell your shoe, and neither do I want to. And whatever money you offer, please keep to yourself. I'm not interested. I'm not going to come and sell shoes on Instagram. So either I don't know why they keep, but I think they see following or on Facebook or this, and they start offering you brand collaboration of this, of that, this, that. Make 5 reels. Reels is it called? Or make 5 stories doing this, doing that. Firstly, when you talk about data privacy, that takes me to a different question of social media. Data privacy. How do they get my email? How do they get my email? That just stuck me talking to you. How do they get my email? That means whether we like it or not, Instagram is sharing it, no? Or Facebook is sharing it. How do they get my email? It just literally struck me right now. And every 2-3 days, super urgent brand collaboration campaign. We represent these brands. Do 5 reels, do 6 reels, do 8 reels in a month, all that stuff. But what is the data security? Anyways, now the next thing. No, whatever I have shared on any platform is not my email ID. Those are accounts which my office sees. So they managed to contact me on my personal email ID. Most of the things you see on this is on. If you find it also, it goes to waste because it is not my personal email ID. That is what office sees. I'm talking about they're managing to reach my personal email ID, which can only happen if it's shared by a company. But anyways, that is something which I Arnav Agarwal, no, that is, see, if we install for free, they take a data in return. It is not about free or not. It is not about free or not. The reality is that if we are having a larger question on social media, the reality is when you sign up on social media, it is a monopolistic practice. You know what happened with Parler, right? Which was growing as an alternative. And suddenly all apps deleted it. For those who do not know, and let's say Republican centric app Parler had grown up as a rival to Twitter. After a while, what happened was this, that they started deleting it from app stores, game stores, play stores, whatever your phone is, whatever phone you use, they started deleting it. So you can't download it. That's the last I saw the controversy. Especially after Trump had been banned, a lot of audiences which liked him went on that app. And this is the monopoly of big tech. So when you say that, and there is very little you can do about it unless the government's act up. And who knows how much funding they give to which government, which party. They are so big, it's not even funny how big they are. It's not even funny. So when you say that you sign up for free, you share your data, it is like saying if you live in a country and there is a king, the king owns you. Right? But I thought we had crossed that age in some parts of the world 300 years ago, USA. In some parts of the world, increasingly UK, Germany, etc., with time in the late 18th, 19th century. In some parts of the world, like us, when we managed to throw out the Britishers in 1940s, late 1940s. So you didn't have an option then. This is how this is. When I was talking to you, it is okay if they send me brand collaboration. The first time you look at it, you laugh. Now it's been going on for a very long time. And I said, but yeah, I'm not here to sell shoes, but or anything else they keep on offering. But the reality is that, and this doesn't happen on Twitter. This is a peculiar thing of, I think, influencers and all. Nobody's offered me to promote a book. If I like something, I'll do it for free. If I had a brand collaboration that post this book and we will give you X amount of money, I would not have any qualms about promoting a nice book. Not for money, maybe, but I would have no problem promoting that. But anyways, okay, somebody says it's not selling, it's promoting. I'm not new age. Good. Anyways, if even it's promoting, I'm not interested. The larger point I'm trying to, okay, is when they share your data, do not say that we have taken something for free. Dude, you have not taken it for free. I would say the other way around. They have gotten you for free. And millions and billions of us they have gotten for free. And that is why they are billionaires. There is no collective bargaining. If it was, every subscriber should probably be paid to subscribe because he adds to the balance sheet of the person who invented it. So please do not tell me that we signed for free so they can roger us any which way they want to. Reality is they can probably do a lot to us because there is no power, or the governments are not bothered about exercising power. About exercising power. Right? But to say that because we have signed up for free, they own us is, as I've told you, like an individual living under kingship and living under dictatorship in some parts of the world. Doesn't happen in a democracy. Nobody owns you. Nobody owns you. And if you talk about sensibility, then these big techs should pay the consumers because they make the money. Anyways, that's a very large debate. So I will not. But you have no option also except to sign. Somebody has said they access our data because we signed their conditions blindly. What's the option? What's the option? In law, there is a thing called, if you are made to sign a contract where you have literally no option, very often courts read it down, courts strike some parts of it because they know you are not exercising an individual's freedom. Be aware and be clear about that. Ishkaran ji, we are endorsing brands anyway. That's also a point. So what do you want? You want me to go on Instagram and make reels with my shoes? Seriously. I have nothing against it. If I have given the impression that I'm against it, absolutely. Those who feel comfortable, maybe I'm shy. Maybe I'm shy. Maybe I'm not comfortable doing those sort of things. It could be that also. No, maybe I'm shy. Maybe it's not my comfort zone. Those who do it, so many youngsters do it, and I'm very happy for them. They are using their time constructively, and if they make some money out of it, I'm very happy for them. I'm actually very happy for them. And maybe, yes, you're right, we promote it in so many ways. And I don't even know what is a reel. Yeah, somebody said make a reel. I don't even know what is a reel. I just got it in a mail that you have to do these many reels a month. And this is the amount and this is that. Maybe it's not me. I'm not at all saying anybody should not do it. Do it. If it is good for you, if you feel comfortable doing, what's the harm? Promote, 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 promote it. Absolutely. I have nothing against it. It was an individual decision. And here's a larger point, if I may come to, was this, that they get all your data. That was the only point I was making. If you want to promote it, please do. And if you get something nice, please send it to me. I don't mind getting something nice for free. I am very happy. If any one of you is promoting something and as a promotional thing you want to send something, I'm very happy. And before all Mandak start jumping, that's a joke, because I'm not going to share my address. And if I had to share my address, I would have at least gotten some cakes on my birthday or your birthday. This topic has become completely non-serious. Now let me come back to the serious topic of why Twitter is a problem. Good question. I'll answer this. Do you think there will be some dollar penalty on the... Do you know? Google this. Facebook, for privacy issues, suffered a $5 billion penalty. European Union fined $2.8 billion to tech company. What is the fines in India? But then there's a difference. Something you will, and this you won't agree with, but or maybe you will, let's see. When you travel abroad, if you litter, if you throw something, right? Lot of areas have fines of $400, and if you are in a ecological sensitive area, under construction area, blah 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 blah, I have seen $1,000 fines also. Seen means it's never happened to me. I don't want it to happen to me. Pura trip ka vaat lag jayega. But you see the boards, right? $1,000 fines. That's $70,000 fine for littering. What if Indian government was to do it? State government could do it. Not even 70,000. 7,000 fine for littering. What would be your response? What would be your response? Are we as a society willing to pay 7,000 as a fine for littering? And why US has it? I was talking to a politician there in the United States. I asked, $1,000, that's a crazy amount of money for most Americans also. For most Americans, it's a big amount of money. I said, how? Why? They said, we don't have the police force to catch everybody. If 100 people throw, maybe we will catch only one. But the penalty is so big that the one person caught will send a message to 10,000 people not to do it. So sometimes having very strong, disproportionate penalties, very strong, disproportionate penalties can do it. क्या है सर, मैं आपको नमन करता हूं, आप रियल देशभक्त हो. Thank you, आप सभी हैं. So in India, I know nobody throws trash there. Somebody is saying nobody throws trash here, and I presume you are living in Europe or US. As I said, there is a reason behind it. In India, now I bring the situation, how many of you will shout from the rooftops if the government brought 7,000 rupees as penalty for throwing trash or for spitting on the road? A. B. And that's a real problem. I'm not going to deny this. What about the police abuse of power, and which very frequently happens in traffic? 7,000 का चलान है, 100 रुपया दे दो या 500 रुपया दे दो. That petty corruption. So when we talk about these things, we have to have a look at ourselves also. 45 crores on Facebook, Avir Singh. Okay. That's a point. But those changes happen, and I was relating this trash with talk on Twitter. No pun was intended of mixing trash with Twitter, no matter what you think. I wasn't trying to mix trash and Twitter. What I was trying to say was, like you have heavy fines for trash and people don't, same way you have heavy fines for this, as I said, 5 billion, 2 billion, and they comply. The Singapore variant thing I've told you, I think enough times if you listen to my speaking on these videos, how Kejriwal Singapore variant happened and Singapore variant got removed from Twitter and Indian variant hasn't been. And one person, forgotten the name, leftist, said, what's the problem in calling it Indian variant? Can you believe it? An Indian citizen saying, what's the problem in calling it Indian variant? Madam, I think it was madam. The problem is you make in people's mind all over the world the belief that India is spreading it. You lower the positivity or good feeling for India. You create tourism problems. You create problems for those Indians who have to go out. If anything happens, good or bad, as a nation, the bad thing has to be mitigated. The good thing has to be propounded. When you start talking about Indian variant, you increase the bad thing. That is why China had such strong objections and they wanted it to be called COVID, and it is called COVID. That is why. So that is the difference. But anyways, on to the point of Twitter. They do that and they don't do this. But I went to see the revenues. The revenues was very okay. See, I didn't want to take the name, but you took the name, so it's okay. This person says it. Okay, somebody has shared who said it. See, why give those people importance and take their name? Why give them importance? Leftist is enough, no? Why give them importance by taking their name? I don't think so they were worth it. So I did not bring the name here. After you spoke the name, I think I was anyways having it at the back of my mind, but I didn't want to speak it. After you said, I still don't want to speak it. Point is, somebody can ask this question. And what's the harm? How pro-India they are or how pro-India they are not, you can judge yourself by the question they ask. Let me come to the second thing. And that is this. Unless we manage Twitter, which is a uniquely political platform, you will have a crisis of democracy where you will feel how they regulate your or my voice. Till we have an equally big app, which is not so easy. And the reason I'll tell you it's not so easy is this. I was stunned to see Twitter's India profit. That's it. 5 crore. 5 crore. That's it. Twitter's India profit. And it's not a new company. It's not a startup. 5 CR. And profit of in a nation as big as... Well, what do they care? And that makes me believe I do not know how easy it will be for something else to start to do well. So that is why. Sir, drink water. Your throat is very concerned of you, Saurabh. Thank you. And I do need to drink water. Thank you for reminding me. So that is the point. Yeah, some people are saying they are not here to make money. Well, they are not making much money. The revenue is 50 CR or something. 50 CR revenue. What's that? At least that's what I read. You can cross-check it. Because it is little too shocking because it's so low, it's shocking. But you please Google and see Twitter India's revenue and profit. I know it's very, very low. That is why I'm speaking, because it really surprised me. Correct me if you find a figure which is very different from this. That's the figure I found, their revenue. Second part of it is, sometimes your revenue could be low, but your influence could be great. Because a lot of, as you know, I am reasonably well acquainted to TV, and I speak on TV almost every. In fact, I refuse. Like tonight, I refused. Uh, how much time one can take out for everything? You have to strictly balance your time. So I refused TV debate today, and very often I do. And I go to very select channels which I want to go. I don't go to other channels. But a lot of news across India, from newspapers to national newspapers to regional newspapers to national channels to regional channels, gets made because of tweets on Twitter. That's a reality. Good. To 5.8 crores. So 5 crores, I wasn't wrong. On the revenue, you are saying 43 crores, 50 crores. What is it? Chicken for big businesses. What is it? Good mithai chain in India does better. Way better. A good mithai chain in your region probably does more revenue and definitely more profit than this. A good mithai chain. Not even the biggest in India. Reasonably good mithai chains do it. So when they have not much revenue in India, they have nothing much. Dude, I've been talking for what? 40 minutes? I thought I will cover 4 topics today. Okay, enough about Twitter. Let me just finish it off. 40 minutes. I do sometimes go on and on. I thought I had spoken for 20 minutes. Anyways, so finishing the Twitter topic, it is essential to bring Twitter to terms. If they don't come to terms, take action. And this time the government is taking action. Up till now, they are. I hope they keep taking action. Otherwise, the cost to democracy would be very high. It would be very high. Now, the next Haldiram revenue, kinna hai bhai? Hello. So Haldiram is bigger than Twitter, at least when it comes to money. But money is not equal to influence. You have to understand that. That is the beauty of, in a good way, that's the beauty of democracy. Your money is not equivalent to your influence. The most influential person in India, some love him, some don't love him, some don't like him, some was Mahatma Gandhi. How rich was he? How rich was he in terms of finances? So your influence, there were Rajas in India at that time. Nizam of Hyderabad was called the richest man in the world at one time, if I'm not wrong. Right? With his income bigger than GDP of countries, if I'm not wrong. Or he was richest in Asia or something. And what was the influence? Meekly had to surrender when Sardar Patel made up his mind and sent our armed forces in. So money is not equivalent to influence. Twitter's money is puny. Influence is not. Influence is not. Now, since I've spoken for 45 minutes, let me just finish it up by talking about Mehool Choksey. And Yogi Adityanath is a political topic, so we'll talk some other day. Mehool Choksey is a very James Bond sort of thing. It's a developing thing because now we have heard one statement by Antigua just before I sat down to hear that he had gone with his girlfriend to Dominica. That is one statement. And he got caught. I do not know. I do not know his family life. So I do not know who caught him and why it became a public thing. I do not know his family life at all. So I don't even know he's having a wife. He's not having a wife. He's married. He's not married. No idea. But that's a statement by a political leader of Antigua. That's very interesting. Second, they say he went on a yacht. And when I was on Times Now and I saw the yacht, and the passenger list did not show his name, and it's a tiny yacht. So I do not see how a group of people could have kidnapped him there. I don't see it. It could have happened. Or it could be some other yacht. Third, he has all these bruisings and all. And I said on some debate that I do not think India is doing Mossad, Israel-style operations. जेम्स बॉन्ड नहीं बन गए हैं यहाँ पे, या इंडियन वर्जन ऑफ जेम्स बॉन्ड नहीं बन गए हैं यहाँ पे. I like James Bond movies. I will probably watch one today. I've been talking about it for 2-3 days. So, sir, please speak in Punjabi. भाइयों और मेरी बहनों, Hindi channel, English channel is enough. I'm desperately hoping the lockdown opens up. We are back in quotes in a much more regular way, and one video a day on Hindi and then probably one video a day on English is all I will do. I'm enjoying being with you here a lot, but I want the quotes to open and then the videos will एक एक घंटा जो हम गप्पे मार रहे हैं ना वे वो नहीं होंगी. Anyways, so that pot boiler which is going on in Dominica, whether his wife has gone or whether his girlfriend has gone or whether some female has gone with him, or whether he got beaten up himself and is playing the victim card, because under international law, if Indian government was trying to capture him and take him, that will make his case stronger of not coming to India. On the other hand, if he is lying, and thirdly, I do not know how strong the courts in Dominica are. I have no idea whether they are controlled by the government, whether they are independent. Every country says the judiciary is independent. China will also say, North Korea will also say. But I do not know which are actually independent countries. There are a lot of countries where they are actually independent, and in some countries they are not independent. So firstly, I do not even know Dominica, the judiciary is independent or not. Right? Secondly, I do not know what the government of Dominica would do. And third, whether that pitai of him, it is visible that pitai happened because he has all bruised, it's self-inflicted or inflicted by Indian government. I don't even know that. So the last thing that I say on this, it's a developing story, and I hope he comes back. And if you're asking me of a gut, this is completely like a gut call. I do not think Indian government would have sent Israeli-style, Mossad-style operatives to do haunt extraction. I don't think so. If they have done, even though it is illegal, but my answer to it would be smiling. I won't disapprove of it. As a lawyer, I don't think I should say I would approve of it, but I can at least say if they have tried to do Israeli-style operation, I won't disapprove of it. Fugitives like that need to come back to India. But if you're asking my gut call, that is not how India operates. And even if it operates, that is not how they can say they operate. International law will kick in. So, good night. Shubh Ratri. We've been talking for 50 minutes. Tomorrow on the Hindi channel, do join for the conversation with Doctor, and it will be very informative. And Tuesday with Dr. Subramanian Swamy, I will put the link and you can ask your comments and questions inside. Do subscribe, do join. If you like this, share it with your friends who are interested in such conversations so that they can join and I gain some knowledge from you and you gain some knowledge from me. Take care. Good night.